Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I understand there's been a lot of discussion about LPDs. Let me just see if we can summarize. General Berger, your requirement for traditional amphibious ships is 31. Is that right?
That's correct, sir.
And Admiral Gilday, you agree with that? Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Our joint analysis supports that.
Okay. Now, there is a study that the CNO, Admiral Gilday, has told us today, confirms that 31 is the requirement. So, Mr. Secretary, that is a fact, is it not?
The study has concluded. The findings of the studies are now being reported out and being discussed in the Department of Defense, as well as by myself, as well as in the Department of the Navy. And the findings of that study now has to be balanced by the Force Naval Structure Assessment that's being conducted for POM 2024. That is aligned to the National Defense Strategy. So there is some additional work that needs to be done before the final determination is made.
Mr. Secretary, do Admiral Gilday and General Berger know what they're talking about?
Yes, sir, they do.
Okay, so have they made a misstatement today?
No, sir, they have not made a misstatement.
Okay, and we were told we would have this study before today's hearing. Assistant Secretary Stephanie said that. So why do we not have the study yet?
I don't know why the Assistant Secretary told you that, sir. He may have misspoken, but certainly he did not consult with me in releasing that study because it hasn't been reviewed yet by senior leaders of the Department of Defense.
When do you think we will have that study, when all these extra steps you mentioned are done?
It should be, if required, it should be released in the next several weeks, sir.
Let me just say also, during the chairman's opening statement, he talked about the 355-ship Navy, and that is, I think he may have mentioned it as a goal. You are aware, Mr. Secretary, that that is in the statute, the law of the land passed by both houses of Congress and signed into law by the President of the United States. Are you aware of that?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay. And are you guided at all by the fact that the statute actually says 355 ships?
Yes, sir, I am guided by that. And if you actually look at the one of the alternatives in our shipbuilding plan, it actually meets the requirement of that statute.
Okay. General Berger, will you elaborate on the update to Force Design 2030? What does it mean in layman's terms about the hider-finder emphasis and its ability to support lethality and our ability to win future fights?
Hider, finder, reconnaissance, counter-reconnaissance goes by different names, but it's the same idea, Senator, in that if you have the lethal means to engage your target, hold them at risk, there's a presumption there you can find them. And there's also a presumption that you can find them first and get the first round downrange. So more and more, as from satellites down to terrestrial, down to subterranean, sensors are allowing not just great powers, but a lot of powers to see what's going on around them. So winning that, when we say winning the hider-finder competition, it means the ability to detect, track, and conceal your own location or stay within a displacement cycle that moves you more rapidly than they can target you. Winning that stays in front of the adversary. Losing that means they can engage you, means you're held at risk. So it doesn't decrease the importance of lethality. Absolutely as important as it always has been. But more and more important is the realization that we have to have the means to detect, to track, to hold at risk the adversary, and do it first.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, in 6 seconds, I don't have time to ask about the failure of the USS Sioux City and the reason for the class-wide failure of the ship's engineering plan. I'll see if I can take a second round or ask that on the record, and I yield.